Hello, this is a new video that I'm making just to update everybody on my process. I haven't been making videos recently because I started to work on a lot more things, so it's been kinda tough and I haven't had time to make videos. So, but today I have some time because I'm kinda starting to get more stable in what I'm working on. So uh, I'll talk about what I have been working on and what I have been doing and how my process been going, like my progress, that how my progress is doing. So um, before, when I was doing my videos, I have been more staying at home a lot because of my anxieties. So I haven't been really going out that much. A lot of anxieties that I needed to work on, and like this summer, like months ago, I started to do more, go out more. So one of the things I started doing was go walking outside, and I live in the city, so there's like, it's noisy, lots of people around, and so I started walking like 1 mile every day. And at first it was kind of like, with all the noise and people around, I was anxious, but I just continued doing my breathing, like focus on the breathing. And then the more I did it, the more I was not affected by it. And when I started to meet people on the street and hang out with some of the people on the street, like whenever I walk, you know I I have a friend who, his name is James. He's like an author. He doesn't have a job. Well, I probably got a job now. I haven't talked to him, but I met him. He was like just sitting in front of a liquor store, like, like begging, like, I don't know if he was begging for money, but he's always there. He didn't have a job, so I started talking to him, hanging out with him whenever I walk. Stop by at the liquor store and talk to people. So I got to work on some, like talking to people with, usually I had fears with like talking to people, like outside. But the more I did that, it's like the more I became more stable. Like talk to people who I haven't like talked to before, like people who I would have reaction to. And yeah, the more I went there, I started to, talk to them. Became like friends. I got to know others, and so that's after that I started doing 2 mile walks, which was, it's pretty long. And I would test myself, like, it would be like 100, no, 97 degrees in heat, and I would like try to go out and walk, see if I can make it. Like, okay, this heat won't affect me, and just go keep walking, because before I had like reaction to heat, like hot weather, but now I didn't have that. Like I can walk in hot weather. So I did that for a while, and then after that I also did biking. Like biking, I had like fear biking on the street with the cars. So it was like tough at first. I started just biking on the sidewalk, but then I started to push myself. I just go and bike to this place called Alum Rock Park, and they had like mountain bike trails, which is pretty cool. It's like they have everything there. So I started to bike over there, like every other day. Oh, I also went to events, bike to events. Um, like I went to the San Jose Gay Pride event, which I haven't been to before, and I biked all the way down there, which was like 4 miles, which is something I never done before, and it was actually pretty awesome. Like just hang out with people and watch, bands. Like I stayed there until, stayed for like 5 hours, just hanging out, and then went back home, bike. So after that I started to push myself even more. Like, okay, after I do something, what do I do next? So I started to bike farther. So I would like bike to Alamrock Park, then I would like push myself and try to bike this one trail all the way at the end, and then once I finish that, I would try to do another one, like bike this steep hill, which was sometimes I can't do it. I had to like walk myself up. And so after that, I would go back home, and then I would like bike on the road. And one day it was like my nervousness just went away. It was like I just bike on the road with the cars, and it's like I didn't have the fear anymore. It was like fun doing it. And then after that I get, okay, so what's next? What do I do next? so the next thing I had to work on was driving, and that's what I've been doing recently. And last night, no, the other night, I went to a meetup group from meetup.com, where people can create groups and set up, meet up at a restaurant or place where people can, like talk and share themselves. So I've been going to this one meetup group, and I have to drive to a different place all the time. So that's another thing I was working on, was like the fear of the unknown, where having to drive myself to a place I don't know. So I always had like nervousness on that. But last last night, a few nights ago, like my fear of driving is like kind of going down more. I'm kind of like enjoying the driving more, where like I had to drive like an hour, like through downtown, through the streets. Instead of taking the freeway, I actually drove through the back roads, and I had the GPS, so I just followed the GPS, and it was actually fun. That was the first time where like I wasn't really that nervous. I was just like, oh, let's see where this takes me. I'll just drive, and I actually enjoyed that. And I drove like an hour, and then I got to the place. Then I have to introduce myself to people. That's another thing I had to work on. Well, but that night I was actually fine. I didn't get as nervous. So a lot of stuff that I have been working on. So right now it's like driving to new places every time.